Hey everyone, and thank you for watching. Today's video I am so excited to do. I am going to be talking about eyeshadow palettes I did not expect to love. This video actually started out, it was just going to be makeup products I didn't expect to love, but as I kept a running list, I just kept adding more and more eyeshadow palettes to it, and I was like, you know what? Let's just talk about palettes. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, before we jump in, let me show you my outfit of the day. So today I have on this concoction here. I don't know, this shirt was just kind of like calling to me in my closet. You know, do you ever have that? I was literally sitting in my closet staring at all my clothes. I was like, I don't know what I want to wear today. And this had jumped out at me, and then I decided to pair it with these kind of like army green trousers that I got from Express many moons ago. So the top is also from Express, also from many moons ago. But I don't know, I was just kind of like feeling this vibe. Just kind of feeling the vibe. My hair day is tomorrow. Hair washing day is tomorrow, so we're not judging the hair. Thank you so much. And then I did just finish filming this look for YouTube, and that is using the new Hela palette, the Odens Eye and Angelica, hello, Nyqvist collaboration. I did 3 looks with this palette, so that is already up on my channel. This is the 3rd look that I did. I did also do a foundation demo for my Instagram, which is March Beauty Word, because I did purchase the new Dior foundation. Yes, I did. I did a demo with that, so today's my first day wearing it, and I'm really loving it, the Forever Glow foundation. So if you're not following my Instagram, that is March Beauty Word. But I will link the rest of the makeup that I am wearing down in the description box. But like I said, I keep a running note when I have different videos that I want to do, like a running list, and then I just keep adding products to it until it gets to a certain point, and I'm like, okay, I'll go ahead and film a video. So this started out as a, you know, just products I didn't expect to love. And then once I had like 8 eyeshadow palettes and only 2 other products, the Milk Makeup Vegan Milk Moisturizer and the Rare Beauty Mascara, I was like, you know what? We're just gonna make this all about eyeshadow palettes. I think people still have a deep love for palettes, so I was like, let's just go ahead and roll with that one. I've done a few recent eyeshadow palette videos. I've done ranking all of my Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow palettes, and I also started a new series where I am ranking all of the eyeshadow palettes that I tried throughout the month. So I know my January one is already up. I'm not exactly sure when this video is going up. I'm just kind of filming a bunch. I have friends coming into town, so I'm just kind of filming a lot right now. February one might be up, or it will be coming very soon. But you know, I love eyeshadow palettes. I love to talk about palettes and share my thoughts on them. And also my goal for 2022 is to actually use them. use all of the eyeshadow palettes that I have in my collection, because it's a lot of them. But I love to be able to create these videos on eyeshadow palettes. I have a whole playlist on my channel if you are interested. And as always, if you're new here, hello. I hope you enjoyed this video. My dog is snoring next to me, so if you hear her, she's on her cave right next to me. We just got back from a long walk. It's in the 70s here in Vegas. I post about 4 to 5 times a week, and I love to just chat about makeup. So if you're not subscribed yet, I hope that you will. And let's jump into it. So I have some older palettes and some newer palettes for this video, but one that I thought of right away, just this little quad here, just this little quad from my girlfriend Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Green Lights palette. Okay. So if you've been around my channel for a sec, when these palettes came out, these were a part of the color-coded eyeshadows. There was this one, there was a blue one, there was more of a neutral one that had like some purples in it. I think I'm saying that correctly. And when I got the collection in PR, first of all, I was so excited. I love getting PR from Charlotte. It makes me very happy. And when I got it, I was like, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna do a look with every single palette and get it up on my channel. I'm gonna be such a good YouTuber. That's what I think whenever I like make videos in a timely manner. And I was looking at all of them, and at that time that I was filming, this was a couple years ago, I didn't really love blue eyeshadow, which is still true. And I also really didn't love green eyeshadow, which is now not true, and that's not true anymore. And I remember looking at the blue and the green and just being like, okay, but especially something about this green palette, I was like, what am I gonna do with this? I just was kind of stumped looking at it, because I'm someone who leans more neutral. I definitely love matte shadows and playing with mattes and maybe having one shimmer in there. And this is an all shimmer palette. And I was just like, this is not gonna end well. And I did the look first time, you know, on YouTube, and the whole time I'm like, wait, what? Huh? What? Do I like this? What? And I got done, and it was my favorite look that I had done with the 4 palettes. I was so surprised. I kept staring at my eyes. I was like, what? This is completely unexpected to me. And then I just fell in love with it. I continue to recommend it. I continue to talk about it. This would be a really good palette for this outfit that I have on today, wouldn't it? I just think that it's a fantastic. I actually ended up decluttering, I think, the other 3. I did a huge eyeshadow palette declutter at the end of the year because, again, my focus for 2022 was really using all of my makeup, not just letting makeup sit there and collect dust, and I was really trying to downsize. And this is the only palette from that color-coded collection that has stuck around. I do also have the Pillow Talk quad, but out of the 4, this is the only one I kept. And let me tell you, that was unexpected. A newer palette, newer-ish in general, but also new to me. I just talked about this one in my last makeup monthly, where I rank all of the makeup that I've been trying from my least favorite to my top favorite. I combined December and January, and I posted that at the beginning of the month because I skipped December with all of the, you know, end of year videos and 2022 videos and all of that. So I just recently reviewed this one, and I felt bad because I'd been trying it for a while. I just wasn't putting it in any of like my end of year videos type of thing. But this is one, I mean, obviously from the title, I didn't expect to love this one. This is from Huda Beauty, and this is the Rose Quartz palette. Now, there was a couple of reasons why I didn't think I would enjoy this one. From Huda Beauty, I really liked her 9-pan palettes that she initially came out with. Again, if you've been to my channel for a hot minute, I'll say, you would know that I loved her, what were they called? Oh, now I'm blanking on the name. Her Obsessions palettes. The Smoky Obsessions, those palettes, the Mauve Obsessions. I was buying up those palettes like a fiend, okay? And wearing them all the time and constantly recommending them. And then when she started coming out with these larger palettes, I really wasn't a huge fan. I tried the new nude and I was like, I don't know, it's like fine and stuff, but I wasn't really loving the direction that the palettes were going and that the formula was going. So when she was coming out with Rose Quartz, I was like, you know, beautiful color scheme. Maybe it might be a little bit too light for my liking. Like maybe there's not going to be enough depth in here. I don't know. But I also was like, for the $67 palette, I just don't think I'm going to love the quality in there. So I'm not going to buy it. And I didn't. I put in my Will I Buy It video that I do every week talking about the new makeup releases. I was like, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to spend my money on it. I ended up getting this in PR. This was my first PR package from Huda Beauty. And even though the palette had released a couple weeks before, I mean, a couple weeks on beauty YouTube, that's like a century, okay? But I was like, I'm still gonna try it. I still wanna test it out and see what I think. And I immediately enjoyed it. And I was like, oh no, I made a mistake here. I actually think I really enjoyed this one. And the more looks I did with it, the more beautiful I thought that they were. And there's definitely more of a variety in here than I initially thought that I was going to get. It definitely still leans more on the pink side. Even some of these shades that to me looked more brown in the pan, they definitely came out more pink on the eyes. So if pink is not your jam, I definitely would not recommend this palette for you. But some of these shimmers in here are so beautiful. Just the different looks that I did with this palette, I was really, really impressed with it. And I definitely did not see that coming. I feel like I wasn't centered there for a second. Am I now? I don't know if I am. I think maybe I'm just trying to show you my candle. Maybe I'm just trying to show you my clean background. That might be it. That might be it. I spent 2.5 hours a couple weeks ago cleaning not just this vanity, but my entire office. It was covered with boxes. Like you couldn't even walk through my office. It was so crazy. So I took a lot of time. I even vacuumed everything. I was wiping everything down. I was really feeling good about myself. So maybe I'll just stay here so you can enjoy my nice background because I'm very proud of it. Very proud. One of my goals for 2022, stay more organized, clean more. I'm trying. Trying, okay? But another older palette that I was like, when I was thinking about doing this video, I was like, should I really put that in there? Or like, were you really not expecting to love it? But I think I was also not expecting to love it as much as I did. This is one of my favorite palettes. This is from Urban Decay, and this is the Naked Reloaded. I'm someone, and another reason why I decided to put it in here is because I've never completely lost my mind over the Naked palettes. Even before my YouTube days, when, you know, everyone and their sister and their best friend, if you were looking in anybody's makeup bag, you were seeing the Urban Decay Naked palette. It didn't matter where you were. And I just never, like I said, lost my mind over it. I was like, I don't know. Like I would use my friends and I'd be like, okay. And then even when I first got on YouTube, I was like, man, I feel like I'm missing out. Like I'm not a part of the cool kids club, cool kids club, because I don't love these Naked palettes. And then as Urban Decay started coming out with more, the Naked Cherry, the Naked Honey, I was like, okay, I like these. I'm feeling these vibes. I'm feeling these vibes. Then they came out with the Naked Reloaded, and I was like, yep, we belong together. Like I said, I'm a neutral lover. I'm a brown smoky eye lover. I'm a quick and easy, like, type of lover. Anywho, so this one, when I saw it, I was like, I bet we're gonna be friends. When I got it, I was like, yes. And then I started trying it, and I was like, we have a close personal bond. I just was not expecting to love this one as much as I did. I remember there was a point in time where I was traveling quite a bit, and I was constantly throwing this one in my bag because it just, every look that I did, I loved it. It was so simple to work with. These shimmers in the middle here, this Reputation and Burn. Thank you, Aries, for your contribution. The two shimmers in the middle, every time I put those on my eyes, I'm just like, yes, queen, get it. This palette just gets me. It's one of my best friends. I'll do anything for it. A newer palette to my collection that I definitely, I just keep wanting to say the title. I didn't expect to love this. I purchased it because I was hoping that I would like it, and I was hoping that I would get some good use out of it. But when I tell you the Glam Light Dirty Martini, I didn't expect to be so blown away with this palette. There was a point in time on my channel where you just had to be annoyed with me. Like, you had to be annoyed that I somehow was finding a way to mention the Dirty Martini in every single video. And I was just like, but I just want everybody to know how much I love the Kaleidos Dirty, not Kaleidos. How much I love the Glam Light Dirty Martini palette. So like I said, things changed from a couple years ago and trying out the Green Lights palette. I do like green shadows now. It's one of my favorite colors to use. I know, I'm very surprised at it too. So when I saw Glam Light releasing the Happy Hour collection, I was going back and forth between getting the purple palette or getting the green palette, because I also really love purples, especially with green eyes. But I just don't have something like this in my collection, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. And I absolutely love it. The quality in this palette is just amazeballs, okay? Let's just say it. A legit word, okay? It's amazeballs. The mattes in here, the shimmers are like on a different level. I mean, this palette is just so impressive. I'm just gonna I mean, I just casually dipped my fingers in there. And I mean, this palette is stunning quality. I don't know what more I could say about it. I feel like I've talked this palette to death, but it's just beautiful. An older palette that I didn't expect to love this one. I think I didn't really know it was the first eyeshadow palette coming out from this brand, so I obviously didn't really have any sort of expectations, but I have continued to recommend this one, enjoy this one, use this one, and that is The One from the brand Lawless. And what I find really interesting about this is this, like I said, this was their first eyeshadow palette that they launched. Lawless is still a bit of a newer brand. They're available at Sephora. They don't have a complete range of products yet, but when they came out with this eyeshadow palette, I was very intrigued by it. I'm just intrigued by the brand in general. I try a lot of their products. I've bought a lot of their products. I enjoy a lot of their products, not all of them. But when they came out with the eyeshadow palette, I'm like, I just need to try this one. I need to see what's going on. This is an eyeshadow palette that gets me and respects me, is what I would like to say. I'm someone, when it comes to makeup, I like eyeshadows that are more buildable, which make it a little bit more blendable to me, versus something like a pressed pigment palette. It's just a little bit harder for me to work with. I don't have like amazing makeup skills. It takes me a little bit longer. I don't have the most amount of patience when it comes to blending shadows. So a formula like what is in this palette and what the Lawless brand has just is much more me. It's much easier for me to use. And so it's a mostly matte palette, but even some of the shimmers in here were so beautiful. But it's one of those palettes where it really is like the one. Like, I can create so many different looks with this palette. It's so easy for me to create. If I was traveling, I could just put this in my bag and I would be able to make a plenty of looks out of it. It is really nice quality. And what I think is really interesting about this is Lawless has gone on to release several mini palettes with 8 shades, and I think I've purchased all but one of them. I think I got in PR. The baby one, there's a mini one of this, which I also bought. Their new holiday one is a mini, and I actually prefer smaller eyeshadow palettes, so like an 8 color story, like that's what I enjoy, but I still keep going back to this one. Something about this palette, I definitely didn't expect to love it, and I definitely didn't expect to continue to love it with everything the brand has released in those smaller palettes, but I just keep going back to it. All right, I actually have 2 from Colourpop, so we'll save those for the last one. So next up, I will talk about from Patrick Ta. This is the Major Dimension palette. So I purchased this a couple weeks after it came out. I didn't jump on it right away because it was a pretty expensive eyeshadow palette. I think it was, what, $68, somewhere in there. It was pretty expensive. Patrick Ta is still a bit of a newer brand. I was like, you know, I just didn't know, once again, didn't know what to expect from the eyeshadow palette. But as it came out and people started reviewing it, it was getting pretty positive reviews. And I was at Sephora one day and I was just feeling weak. And I ended up throwing it in my bag. And I was like, you know what? This could be a mistake. I could regret. I bought it full price. A lot of times if there's a certain product that I just think is a little bit too expensive, I will wait for that sale. I'll wait for the 20%. I will wait for something. I purchased this full price, no gift cards, no nothing. I was like, oh man. I ended up so enjoying this palette, and every time I've reviewed it or talked about it, I just always come back to, I did not expect to enjoy this one so much. You have 2 cream shadows here, the mattes, the shimmers, some of these toppers. Every time I do a look with this palette, I'm just like, girl, you are the master of eyeshadows. And I don't think that a lot. I do not think that very often, and this palette makes me feel that way. Again, it's one of those where it's like, even if you are a little bit more like beginner, or you're just not at that expert level of makeup or that expert level of blending or putting shadows together. You know, there's some palettes that I look at and I'm like, I know I can get a look out of this. I'm just not sure who, like, that's how I feel sometimes. Then I think that this would be a good one for you. Like, it's not beginner price tag, that's for sure, but quality in here, every look that I've done, I mean, I was genuinely very surprised at how much I enjoyed that palette. All right, like I mentioned, I have 2 from Colourpop. So one is the Wild Child palette. This palette really surprised me because Colourpop releases a lot. We don't need like the breaking news ticker as I say that, you know, we all know. They release a lot of palettes. There's so many palettes to try. I am someone who's on Colourpop's PR list, so I'm constantly trying to test out their new products and let you know what I think is worth it and what to skip, because they release so much. It's not very often that something really grabs me out of everything that I'm trying in general, everything that I'm trying from Colourpop. It's more rare these days that something really like grabs onto me. And when I saw the Wild Child being released, I was like, okay, that's really pretty. Looks like a nice palette. Like I said, I love brown smoky eyes. Those are some of my favorites to go to. But when I saw this, and I was like, oh, sure, this is gonna be good. Like, I'm probably going to like this one. I really like the Wild Child, especially out of all of the Colourpop palettes. It's just pretty. The quality is nice. It's easy to work with. I don't really know what else I can say, except I was very surprised at how much I enjoyed the Wild Child from Colourpop. And then the other one that I have from the brand, this one surprised me because with Colourpop, and this is something that I say a lot, I feel like their formulas and their eyeshadows can be different. Sometimes it's like you don't know what to expect. But I found with their collaborations, especially their bigger collaborations, such as with Disney, I don't find the quality to be as good. So when they were coming out with the Star Wars Mandalorian The Child palette, I was like, this is not gonna be good. Like, I just straight out was like, this is not gonna be a good palette. It's not gonna be a good formula. And so many people were tagging me on it because it's this green palette, you know, it's so beautiful, like packaging super cute, all of the things. But I was like, I don't have high hopes for this one. I enjoyed the quality in here so much. This to me is like what's in the Wild Child palette, the really good Colourpop formula that I love. And just the looks that I can create with this one, you can go neutral, you can do more green, the shimmers in here are beautiful. I was definitely very surprised. I did not have high hopes for this one. I was thinking this was gonna be like a crash and burn palette, and I was gonna have to, even though it was like so cute, and my dog loves the little baby Yoda that they sent in the PR package, I was like, I'm gonna have to give this a bad review. Ended up highly enjoying that one, so I did not expect that. And then actually, I'm not done. I don't know what I was thinking. I have 2 more to talk to you about. This is not the end. this is not the end, because one of the other ones that I had, this was one of the first products, or one of the first palettes that I put on my list when I was thinking about this video. It is from Kaja, and it is their Neutral Moment Stack. I actually had also put on their face stack, their trio that has the cream bronzer, the blush, and the highlight. I enjoy that so much. I feel like Kaja Beauty is just kind of a brand that I didn't expect to love, and especially have some of their products become big favorites of mine. Oh man, so this one, it actually kind of like busted a little bit there. Oh no, that's so sad. Oh, I'm gonna have to see what I can do about that, because I love this little trio. So you have the darker matte brown, the more neutral matte brown, and then this matte white here. I reach for this so often. It's one of my go-to looks, especially if I'm in a rush and, you know, maybe I'm just like going to hang out with a few friends and it's like, I don't need to do anything wild, I'm not filming today. Chances are I'm gonna be wearing this stack. I think that it's fantastic. If you haven't tried Kaja Beauty, I would suggest it. I would suggest the eyeshadow stacks, like I said, the face stacks. If you have any other favorite products from them, I would love to know, because it just makes me want to try out even more from Kaja. You know, sometimes you try a brand and you try that first product and it just doesn't work for you. You really don't like it and you're like, meh, it doesn't really entice me to try more from the brand. Kaja to me is the opposite. I'm like very, very interested in what they have going on. So that stack is a favorite of mine. And then I wanted to end it talking about, it's not a palette, but these are from Auric. I definitely was not expecting to love Auric as much as I did, especially the Smoke Reflex. So when these came out, I was planning to buy them because I wanted to support Sam Ravindell. She's a favorite of mine. I was very excited for her company. I actually ended up getting them in PR, which was such a highlight for me. I remember it was right around Christmas time that Sam messaged me asking for my address, and I about lost my mind. I was so excited to even just like be on her radar. I was like, what in the world? I was so excited, but at the same time I had a little bit of fear, because I was like, I just don't know if these are gonna be for me. There was also a point in time where I didn't love cream shadows. I didn't love applying makeup with my fingers, and something like this, where you have a cream shadow on one side and then you have this topper. I grabbed one of the holiday ones too. So then you have a topper. This is the first release, and then this is a holiday release. I was like, I just don't think that these are gonna work for me. And I was so surprised, and I continue to credit Auric for kind of pushing me over. I was kind of like teetering on like, do I like the cream products? Like, is my makeup preferences changing? These came out, I started trying them, and I was like, you know what? Yes, we have changed. So I kind of credit Auric and Sam Ravindell for like finally pushing me over that edge. But I go for these Smoke Reflex so often. It is so simple to use, either just the cream by itself, put it with the topper. You can mix and match the different ones too. I love the small packaging in here, yet it still feels luxe at the same time. I'm so impressed with these. I definitely didn't see my deep love for them coming, but once again, I wear those so much, and I highly recommend them. All right, after that, that is it. That is going to wrap up the eyeshadow palettes I did not expect to love. I would love to know, is there anything that you purchased and you were like, you know what, this probably isn't gonna be for me, but you ended up completely changing your mind? I of course would love to know. Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed this one, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope you also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll see you in my next video.